Well, now, along with the Cross packages, were you able to get communications from home? And I actually want to get your viewpoint on that too. With him being in the camp in your home, you had a daughter at this point,
Our
correct?
baby was 2 weeks old when he left.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
we
mean,
got a picture some. Oh, I thought we had it.
do you
Yeah.
remember the day you got word that he had been shot down?
Oh,
And at that point, did you know he was a?
in those days, the Western Union delivered the messages, whereas now they go to the home.
Mm-hmm.
And they delivered a Western Union that he had been reported missing in action.
Oh, jeez.
And when they handed it to me, I knew what it was, and I fainted.
Oh my.
And our baby was 2 weeks old. No, she was 2 months, but he saw her. He came home for a day and saw her when she was 2 weeks. And he left on our anniversary to go overseas. We'd been married a year when he left.
That had to be tough. I can't imagine what.
And she was 2 when he came home.
How long before you got that initial telegram that he was missing in action? How long before you realized that?
7 months.
7 months
waited.
of uncertainty.
Nothing at all. So anyway, my father was real strict with me because he was a World War One veteran, and he said so many of the men's wives cheated on their husbands, and he was real strict with me, and he'd take me to the movies and set me down. You better be there when I come back. So they paged me. I was at the movies, and they paged me to come to the lobby. And I went to the lobby, and my dad was sitting there waving the telegram and had a big smile on his face. And then I knew he was all right. And it said he was a POW then. And then I waited after that telegram. I waited about 3 more months, and then I got like a penny postcard. And the only thing, they had it censored so bad that all I could see was my dearest wife and baby and his name.
Huh.
They really censored him.
Yeah.
And then I got one of those a month. And occasionally they'd let him tell me something in the card. And then the war ended in May of 44.
45.
I mean 45. And so he didn't get home until August. And I thought he wasn't coming home. He came home on an LSD boat.
LSD.
And it took him a long time to get home. I thought he was deserting me. And so it was with a new baby and everything, you know, in the war, it was really hard.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
And of course, in those days, everything was, you had to have not food stamps, rationing. And we had a neighbor that they were older couples, and they used to give me their coupons to get our little girls shoes because, you know, children's feet grow. And but myself, I couldn't, you know, the adults. It was hard to go out and buy shoes, and we had to have stamps to get sugar. And so then when I wanted cigarettes, I got a date into the PX. I could go up there as a POW and get cigarettes and bring them. And bring him home, and oh my gosh, I had more friends in the world because I brought back cigarettes. But, and the only thing you can do is just pray and hope that he comes home. But he never did receive but maybe one package I sent him. I went to the Red Cross and gave them money for cigarettes and to send him, and clothing, and he never did receive anything.
Is that right?
To the last month, my mother and I made fudge, and we put it in a large pan. We didn't cut it because we thought it would keep better, you know, just in one. And he said they were real hungry, and he said he divided it with everybody in his compound.
Well, we shared it.
And when they came home from the service, I got more thank you notes thanking me for that little piece of candy. And
usually what we find, most of the fellows, when they would get a food package or cigarette package, they'd share it. They wouldn't keep all of it. They'd share it
Is
all
that
in
right?
the room. So cigarettes, that was so important to us.
the night he came home from the service, my little girl was asleep. I had her all dressed. We knew he was coming home. And I always kept a picture beside her crib. And I'd say a little prayer for Daddy. And she'd kiss his picture goodnight. And so naturally, the first thing he wanted to see the baby.
Sure.
And he goes in, and Linda was asleep. And all at once she woke up and she sees her daddy, and she reached for him and she went, Daddy. And Manny couldn't understand how she knew that.
Wow. Oh boy, that must have been something.
It was an experience. I didn't think so much about it until after I could sit down and think things over, what had happened to me.